Behold the Syren pattern cruiser, which is a Clemontian ship's work heavy refit of a we're nothing but a mean clipper ship. And by heavy refit, I mean very heavy refit. Everything has been changed. Instead of having axial just along the sides and bottoms of the ship being the exhaust, it has a larger exhaust of the same style that the Kestrel 1 and 2 patterns have. The Syren has added a hangar to fit a Type 27 dropship, as well as her entire armament has been changed, and the sliding bay doors and elevated point defense cannons along the lower portion of the hull have been removed in their entirety. In the place of the exhaust system is a advanced shielding system that is being tested, field tested on the Syren pattern. And involves, that's what these purple shroom lights represent. Her armament includes 2 Type 2 particle beam cannons and 2 Type 2 naval coil guns, as well as 8 Battersea heavy particle cannon point defense cannons, and 14 longbow torpedo cartridge launch tubes, and a single iron block in the center that blends in a heck of a lot more with the normal Minecraft than it does in RTX, given the different reflection value of concrete and iron. This is used to just denote the middle of this pattern, and was once the middle of the ship, but she's been shortened in the aft section. Now, this used to be a 2-block, but due to how structure blocks size limitations, it just made more sense for me to just make the ship 1 meter shorter than I really wanted it to, so that I could structure block it really easily. The Syren pattern also has 2 3x3 style docking ports, one on either side, in the same position as they were on the original Clipper. Same overall position. We're gonna start in the hangar section, which is big enough to fit a single Type 20 or an A27 dropship in a Clemontian livery. Instead of hangar doors, it's got like a simple shield system to keep in atmosphere. Both a simple version on either side of the bay, as well as another to contain atmosphere in the cargo bay. Forward of the cargo bay is the same style sensor system as was seen in the Kestrel. Also in the cargo bay is just a closet space on one side, and on the other is the ladder way up, which enters into the docking corridor with a empty room which could be used for anything from storage to a security room to keep unwanted people from boarding the ship if at a dock. On the other side of the dock, or on the other docking side, the starboard side, there's another similar empty room. Forward of the docking corridor is a recreation room, be used for any sort of recreational activity, from like a gym to a sports ball field for all your sports ball needs. In the front is a 2-deck tall room that takes up the entire bow section, and it contains a transference pad, which is Kree's Creative World's teleportation system. And I don't have a video on how the transference pad works. Most of the ships aren't going to use it, really. It's just more decoration and style. When you look at this room, it's real nice. I really like the way this room turned out. Moving aft of the docking corridor, on one side we've got the kitchen area. Kitchen and then mess hall. Rather small kitchen, really. Just a couple furnaces and a couple smokers. And then in this other room here we have a pantry. And then down here we have a enlisted mess. Moving aft of the enlisted mess is the officer's mess, which doubles as a wardroom. Aft again, we have the executive officer's office. Simple desk with a bathroom and bedroom type combo. Simple type of dealio. And then aft again is the commander's office, which is where the commanding officer of the vessel, the office is from. Desk, same overall design setup as the executive officers. Aft, yet again, is the engineering deck, which takes up the entire vertical space. We've got double reactor. It is literally, block for block, the exact same reactor room engineering section that the WNBAM Clipper ship has. Except the parts that don't really matter aren't changed. But the reactors, the propulsion, the FTL, the fuel tanks are all the same. That is a particle cannon ammunition conveyance system. Basically, it feeds the gas that is turned into the shots of the particle cannon. We'll get to that later. Moving forward of the engineering on the middle deck is the stairs down, but we'll get to that later, because we haven't talked about the entire port side of the middle deck, which is just berths. The entire thing, all the way down. 18 berths. Here we have berths 1 through 4, labeled 1, 2, 3, and they are all identical. Just 8 beds, each having their own little storage compartment. Every single one is identical, except sometimes the door's on one side, sometimes it's on the other. I just filled the entire space with berths. Also, this is slightly fucky. Hope you don't get a berth 9 through 12 because your corridor is a meter short, or a meter thin, but the parts that actually matter are the exact same. When building the ship, I just threw down a whole bunch of berths. I didn't count how many crew I thought I'd need, and because of that, I put down nearly double, I think, beds as compared to crew. So this ship also contains, or carries, a security complement of 25 armsmen, 5 less than the Kestrel, but they just bunk in the standard berths, the same as everybody else. Moving back aft and down, here we have a characteristically poorly lit stairway. Every so often I just forget to light up a room. My bad, same with this other room. I just kind of forgot about these when building. So, spooky closet. In here is an almost identical bridge setup as the Clipper. I just added more consoles. This is a military ship. It also has the same hollow room, holographic table for briefings, or whatever you want a holographic table for. But forward, we also have a meeting room here, and an ominously dark room here, which is used in the battleship variant of the Syren, but isn't used in the cruiser. That's all that's down on this deck. Forward of these two rooms here is the hangar, and we've already covered that. Back in the stairway down to the command deck, I guess, where is a ladder up to the weapons deck. This block of purple terracotta represents just a gas containment, so that the particle cannon can fire a lot without ever fearing running out of ammunition. And here we have a slug storage thing for the coil guns. How coil guns work basically boils down to more power you put in, the more velocity, more energy you can put out through the kinetic projectiles. With these large capacitors, the commanding officer of the cruiser can either put out a whole bunch of really powerful shots, shoot really rapidly, or have a standard firing time but shoot for a lot longer without having to recharge anything. Next to the capacitors are the longbow tubes and the longbow cartridges, each containing 4 Haymaker missiles. There's also storage for not quite 2 full complete reloads. I think that was the intent, but there's 10 reloads there, and there's 7 per section of torpedoes, so I'm bad at math. It's fine. And on the starboard side, there is the same setup, just mirrored. Forward, we've got 2 big kinetic projectile magazines, as well as 2 big particle cannon tanks. In between the forward kinetic projectile magazine and the particle tank is another ladder, the forward ladder, down into mid-deck, which just empties out into the recreation area. And that concludes the overall build showcase of the Syren pattern cruiser. All in all, it's slightly more capable than the Kestrel pattern cruiser, and kind of more expensive. It has more crew, slightly more capability, and is only slightly longer and a bit taller, not really, but it's a fuller overall shape. When I was building the Kestrel one, I kinda wasn't happy with how it was turning out, so I decided I wanted to just convert a Clipper into a cruiser. And then I finished the Kestrel, and then I moved on to this. Then halfway through building this, I wasn't super happy with how it was turning out. Well, really, I thought I could do the Kestrel better because I really liked the way it looked. So I did the Kestrel better. Hence the Kestrel 1 and the Kestrel 2, which are basically the same ship, just one is much more comfortable to live in. That concludes everything I got for you today. Thank you for watching to the end. It actually means a lot to me. Honestly, thanks.